lot of stakes on the line.
It really does, and there's the series layout for you guys watching at home as well, and of course live here in the arena. CTF Aquarius is where we are starting things off. This is a map we've already seen Chiefs play once already in this tournament. They did lose that map, and historically, Quadrant also struggled on CTF Aquarius, so I really think this one is up for grabs. Whoever's going to be slaying better, whoever's going to get more map control and get that camouflage off the go. But here we go then, it's international teams, it's EU versus ANZ.
TchiK was one of these guys that really impressed me when I had the opportunity to watch the European Kickoff qualifier. I hope we see some of his screen today. We're already kicking off board with him. He's being so aggressive early on.
Yeah, Quadrant do like to play aggressive, similarly to what we've seen from Ascend as a French squad is now. Pratt will be taken down. The Chiefs have lost 2. Quadrant looking to try and take that advantage even further as top middle control has been found here. They've got 3 on the respawn for Chiefs, and Quadrant looking like they're asserting some early dominance.
This Quadrant roster really is something nice to watch. They put up such a good fight against Ascend so many times in those qualifiers online. Don't be surprised when you see some perfect kills, because these guys, they can play Halo.
And they did put up a good shot against Ascend, but they were overshadowed in the conversation and in the online tournaments. But here in Raleigh, it's been the Quadrant show, second in their pool. That's why they're here today, and they'll want to do the same against the Chiefs. Get those early flags, get that aggression, get those slays on board, as SLG combining with TchiK will get this flag run.
They got 2 kills to their names right now. The flag already across halfway, and you're seeing TchiK run it up his Dynamo stairs now. And this is going to be the first cap going on the board for Quadrant.
No one from the Chiefs in place to stop that one. Off the spawn, looks like they're just going to try and take map positioning instead, but at the same time, Quadrant seem to be everywhere. TchiK will push in, but can't quite get the kill. Knows, though, that there is a player on Dynamo nades, but this is great from Pipz. Pick up those Dynamos, use them to just zone out the opposition so they can't push you. Will try and take this fight. Is somehow still alive, Blood.
Yeah, somehow still alive, and Barcode with the triple kill on screen. Absolutely incredible shots there from him, and he has got to be the player to watch for this ANZ team. He's got to step up big, and that triple kill could be just what the doctor ordered.
That's going to give him so much confidence, but will be eliminated in that particular scenario. But remember, this Chiefs team, they did make history. For the first time ever, they won in pool play. We've never seen an ANZ team do that prior to this. And it was an EU team they beat as well. They were able to get that victory over Bing Chilling, and Quadrant will look to try and get one back here for the European community.
Well, that win is exactly why they're in this series up against Quadrant and not having to play Optic Gaming or not having to play someone much more higher seeded than this Quadrant team. So the Chiefs, they did the job to get here in this series. Now they have to do the job to get past it. You're seeing SLG say otherwise.
Well, SLG, arguably one of the best slayers in the European region, but also happy to do the objective work, but on that occasion will be wiped out by some grenades. Fragxr is in at least the vicinity to get some work done here, but look at the swarm. The ANZ Chiefs will arrive and take down a couple of players from Quadrant, and it looks like both flags returned in that scenario.
The teamwork for Quadrant showing out right now with the heat wave, the thrust, the bait and switches. It's been overwhelming for the Chiefs so far. You see TchiK with this heat wave wants to push into this base, does find Barcode, but needs to slay out, make it a double kill, killing spree, and now this is going to be that second flag being run, Dan.
Straight away, Quadrant looking to run that flag after just getting a couple of kills on the board, but the Dynamo grenade's going to make this awkward for TchiK. Gets zoned out, gets forced into the BR of Madsy, and that is going to mean that now at least Chiefs can stop this flag run. They can focus on getting some control of the map, and maybe they can run a flag of their own. Barcode says, anything you can do, I can do a little bit better. And they're going to go for the P run here. It's not the conventional run, it's not the traditional one, but it certainly can work out if you've got slays around you.
Barcode's going to have to play untraditional Halo to create some upsets this weekend. He's doing a phenomenal job so far in this series. But he's got a lot of players to work with right now as he's got to try and punch this flag, and unfortunately he finds himself in a 1v1 front the base, and that's going to be the return coming in once again for Quadrant and SLG.
Huge return. That is the difficult thing when you do run it that way. You are vulnerable to people pushing through, but Quadrant, they're trying to get back into this. They're trying to make it a third flag after putting that second one on the board. I want to jump into an Astro listening with Quadrant and see what they have to say.
Tu peux run enchaîne, run enchaîne.
Ouais, je run enchaîne.
Agressez
la bulle,
agressez la bulle.
Agressez la bulle.
Je suis quart 2. Devant chez nous, côté 4. Il arrive côté P, côté P. Regarde, je suis chez eux.
Pas mid one shot, pas mid one shot.
Alors flag maintenant. Attends, Babid. C'est quoi Babid? Encore devant chez eux. C'est à Babid maintenant.
Derrière moi.
C'est bon.
En P.
Regarde. Devant chez eux, sur 7. C'est venir,
devant flag, devant flag.
Tu peux score. Attends, j'ai une deux, non?
Bien qui va notre gen, bien qui va notre gen. J'arrive jeune, je suis là.
Garde, tu vois.
Bien joué.
Un quart d'eux, top 1 maintenant.
Quart d'eux, top 1 qui va
Un flag, un flag, cut. Cut chez nous, Seb.
Les deux maintenant. Ils m'ont
Il
fait
va
les
juste nous, il va à côté Jeanne.
deux, je cherche.
Ah, le flag côté Jeanne maintenant.
Ah, Silver one shot. Ah, TchiK c'est one shot. Ah, TchiK c'est one shot après.
Et un flag. Après, il va à côté K.
En P. Ouais, je joue P2, je joue le P2.
P2 top 1 maintenant.
Ok, je regarde.
P2 Barcode low. 2, encore un chez nous qui va Jeanne.
Il est bloqué.
Well, now I know how Snipe Drone feels, and if you're a European player, you know what I mean by that. But now Quadrant are able to move on. They did get that third flag on board, Wes, and it looks like Chiefs struggling a little bit in this one.
Yeah, I speak zero French, but what I will say is that the tone of their voices sounded really calm and collective. I don't know if they were panicking in French, but it sounded good to me. And the scoreline resulting is so 3-0. Quadrant taking a dominant lead so far here with 6 minutes left in the game. You're going to want to see Chiefs really step it up, and they're going to have to if they want to make this game one interesting.
Well, when you look at the Slays, I mean, we questioned on the analyst desk, can SLG step up? Can he be that powerhouse that we've seen in previous tournaments? Not just in Halo Infinite, but back in Halo 5 as well. I remember a time when the crowd was chanting SLG, SLG, and I hope at some point this weekend we'll see it again if he pops off. But right now he's got 16 kills, TchiK with 14, and TchiK, as well as those kills, will be running another flag. 3 members of Chiefs were down, 2 now have spawned. Camo is coming up, and it looks like this could be a 4th one going in.
TchiK's going to punch this 4th flag in right now, and that's Quadrant, making it 1 cap to go with 5.5 minutes left. That is an incredible feat. It is very difficult to get 5 captures completed in a full map against pro teams on a map like Aquarius CTF, but you're seeing Quadrant right now be very efficient, very effective with all these kills.
Well, Barcode has had some impressive slays already and has been performing excellently, but now is running into a heat wave, and that's definitely not what you want to face. SLG was on the other side, gets the assist, and Quadrant have again taken down 3 members of Chiefs, so that means yet 1 more flag run. Madsy, the last remaining player, will fall, so this flag can be ran straight through bottom middle. NURIX will have plenty of assisting here, and I think unless we see some big grenades, which we have done, it's probably going to be that 5th flag going in. But Barcode says, no, I'm not throwing this one away just yet. We're going to make a game of it.
You want to keep this game alive as long as possible. You want an opportunity to maybe get some kind of response, some kind of momentum going into game 2. Maybe come back here, but it would almost be a miracle for that to happen. So I love the fact that Barcode was able to make the play to get that return. Unfortunately, there's going to have to be a lot more done from this ANZ roster if they want to stay in this series.
We do see it quite often sometimes with that final flag. You'll see teams maybe desperate it a little bit too much just to try and get that game finished and move on to the next one. So Quadrant just need to focus on slays here, as Pratt's going to take this fight with TchiK, but TchiK has been so impressive ever since we've seen him in the online tournaments. There was a lot of questions asked about this young man, the newest addition to this roster, but he has stepped up when he needed to, and every single individual BR fight we're seeing from Quadrant is won time and time again.
Very, very impressed with all 4 members of Quadrant, and that's why the score is the way it is. It's not one player stepping up. It's not just SLG. It's TchiK, it's Fragxr, it's SSG, all with 18 kills. You see NURIX shortly behind them with 14, and that's the 5th flag that's getting punched in right now. TchiK's going to do it for his team. Quadrant are going to dominate game 1 5-0.
EU and Quadrant looking to try and make a statement against the ANZ region, who, I'm going to be honest, they embarrassed Europe in pool play, and they really did make history with that win they were able to achieve. But in this series, it seems like Quadrant are on top for now. But I say for now because it was Aquarius CTF, which I do think is one of Chiefs' worst game types, just looking across what they've played so far in this tournament. In these really big games, there's a lot of first-timers at this event, when it's not just amateur teams, but even on our pro teams that we're seeing, maybe don't have that high-level LAN experience when it comes from these European rosters. But map 2 is going to be Slayer Streets. Quadrant 1-0 up in this series. Chiefs and ANZ looking to try and fight back in this one.
Going on with Barcode, and I love the fact that he's already going for this thrust. You're going to see the scavenging story already take place here in Infinite from Barcode's point of view. We get some shots, forced it back down though, and now the battle for Rockets looks like it was won by Chiefs, and now for the first time in the series, they're going to have a lead. We'll see what they're able to do with it.
Very minimal one, of course, just by 1 kill and make it 2. Fragxr having to retreat ever so slightly to join their teammates here in Tram. And this is the area you don't really want to be stuck in on this map. You want to prioritize the kind of B arcade area and force the other team over towards that Tram. get them on spawn, get them having to push up that hill towards you, and then you can really take advantage of the height that you have. As now, Rockets could make a difference here for Barcode. He's being very patient though. There's the first, will connect. We'll look for the second, but in the moment he might just have to say, look, let's get back to my teammates, because they are struggling. You saw one kill with the rocket, but the rest of the team, 4 Chiefs, they all fell.
Yeah, Barcode just looking for players with those rockets. Fortunately, he finds 2. Unfortunately, it was after his teammates died. He does find a 3rd kill right there, and that make it 4 for the game. Barcode going 4-1 to start off the game. You asked the MVP for this ANZ roster to step up in here in game 2. That's exactly what he gives you with this first wipe.
It seems to be a pattern that we're seeing in these top European rosters, especially the French rosters as well. They like to run in a 3 and have 1 anchor or 1 flanker. And if you kill that 1 flanker, you think you're going to be in a good spot. But then the rest of the 3 start to power through as SLG from distance will hit all of his BR shots. And he's going to get some assistance there to make it 2. And this should be a comfortable cleanup. Again, the teamwork is on point. He calls it out, he gets some help, and now we have a 4-kill lead for Quadrant.
I mean, look at what SLG was able to do and still able to do now that he won that 1v1 versus Madsy off the top rope. He was able to rotate back to tower, have an unsuspecting angle onto another player, then impact another fight. He's on a killing spree now, all because Madsy lost that fight downhill.
SLG not afraid to pick up the weapons that are available on the sandbox, the assault rifle and the commando. Don't even need a battle rifle is what SLG says. And that commando really can hit hard. Rocket's going to be down, drop ball goes out just to give him a little bit of protection. But it looks like that initial damage not quite enough to give him the chance to push in and get aggressive. 17-11, Rockets just came up. Is anyone going to be able to grab them? Fragxr trying to rescue them, get them out of the dead hands of the body on the bottom. But certainly Quadrant still dominating with a 6-kill lead.
The Chiefs are doing a good job of staying in this one right now, though. They do pick up this last rocket, a great use of it there from Praties, and with that, they're going to get some map control here. Only down 5 kills. What Quadrant was able to do there early isn't too much to overcome, but you have to slow the game down and you've got to get some space. It looks like the Chiefs have been able to do that. I love this play from Pratt. If it plays out well, they could flip this scoreline entirely.
NURIX looking to try and make his way around, seeing if he can do some damage. Pratt is still just floating and hiding in corners right now. Very vulnerable to grenades if it does get popped onto these stairs, but does just about survive. Now he can re-challenge, but every time I'm looking at that kill feed, it is a Quadrant kill going in favor of the red team. Chiefs not able to trade them out successfully, and that's why we're seeing them about 9 kills down at this point, make it just 7. No, unfortunately, the Sentinel Beam is not going to do the job.
Just no opportunity there for him at all, right? Every single time he got his shields back, he was rocked by a nade, he was shot from an angle he didn't expect to be shot from, and because of it, he's trying to stay alive this whole time. No DPS from Pratt right there, and because of it, you see the Chiefs starting to suffer. Quadrant taking map control, taking the score lead as well.
Maybe not the traditional way you'll see Slayer Streets played by Quadrant. They certainly like to rotate as a unit, like clockwork, going around the map, finding those kills, and then consistently pushing those spawns, but they want to be aggressive here. Will they have the freedom to be aggressive against a North American team? That would be my real question, as North America tends to have a better way at dealing with such rotations, but certainly in the moment, Chiefs being 8 kills behind and need to find a way to slow this Quadrant roster down.
I love how SLG is playing so far. It's so aggressive, so reckless in a sense, but confident is the word I want to use to describe it. With that confidence, you're seeing him already with 11 kills in this game, and he's given his team this 7-kill differential.
And you'd be surprised how much confidence matters as well in a game like Halo Infinite. It really can change your plays and where you're going to push. Madsy feeling a little bit of that confidence now, but goes up against 2 members of Quadrant, and they work in tandem, baiting and switching to ensure that he gets eliminated and gets sent back to the death screen. 33-25, so 8 kills behind now are Chiefs. We are seeing Barcode have a good performance, 10 kills, 9 deaths, but he needs to lift the rest of the team. He needs to be doing that damage, getting those assists on the board as well. Here's Pipz with the Bulldog, gets the double. That's a big one.
That's how you get back into this game. You use the sandbox to its situational advantages, and Pipz with that Bulldog able to land an easy 2 kills. Can he pressure this 3rd player in the back of PD? The answer, yes, still with the thrust as well. So Pipz doing a ton for his team as they're able to start crawling back. Maybe they can cut into this lead. And look at this Bulldog action, Dan.
What a comeback this could be from the Chiefs. They've made it now just within 4, and the Bulldog has made all the difference. All it required was a little bit of prioritization. Killing spree now for Pipz, looking to try and make it 6 in a row, but Fragxr will shut him down, just giving him too much of a wiggle there. The French wiggle is quite terrifying indeed, but slowly but surely the Chiefs are edging their way back into this game now.
It was once a 10-kill game, it's now just a 2-kill game. They have shotgun side of the map. If they can get Pipz another shotgun, he can start barking once again at Quadrant and maybe, just maybe, steal this game too.
And that's the question, do Quadrant then roll over and show their belly? I question the mental game of this roster. They can't allow Chiefs to get back in and take the advantage, because will the heads drop of Quadrant if that happens? Pipz using the thruster to try and just have a little dance, ring around the rosies, goes in favor of Fragxr once more, but does need to stay alive. A 3-kill advantage, make that 4, but they're going blow for blow, which is fine for Quadrant, but it's another set of rockets going in favor of Chiefs.
Neither one of those rockets get a kill, and Madsy has got to be kicking himself right now. Those 2 kills would have made this just a 1-kill game. Madsy trying to put those rockets to use, but great job by Quadrant to get those out of his hand. Pipz back with a shotgun. This is their chance.
This Bulldog has really made such a massive difference, and I think Quadrant will be very upset they've not been able to prioritize it, but NURIX dashes around the corner, picks up the Bulldog and says, you know what, I'll have a go with the best weapon on this map. 45 to 43. Trying now Quadrant to just move a little bit closer to that 50 mark, but every kill they get, the Chiefs are responding, and I think this is going to come down to the wire.
No, 2 players just go down for the Chiefs. Almost a third from Fragxr. And 49-45, Quadrant need 1 kill to go.
Chiefs, they're holding back, they're playing it safe, they're locked in the tram area at the moment, but SLG, he's on the hunt. He knows there's 1 player in tram, and he's got a teammate with him as well. It's a matter of search and destroy they will, as now we see Quadrant take a 2-0 lead here in this series.
So close, but yet so far now that you're down 2-0 in this series. The Chiefs with their back against the walls here in their winner's bracket run, and Quadrant looking great to finish that one off. Pipz doing so much work with the Bulldog shotgun throughout that entire game, but to be able to overcome all of that sandbox use from the Chiefs, Quadrant are really feeling themselves right now.
We know full well that Quadrant have been more impressive on objectives than Chiefs, just from what we've seen so far in pool play. But Oddball and Live Fire is where we're going to be heading. Wes, I mean, talk me through the map. You definitely have a lot to say about this one. What's the ideal setup for you?
The ideal setup for me is a tower. You get the ball, top tower, and he's able to drop it. He's able to drop behind it. He's able to kind of poke out from different areas, just surround him with players either brute side or elbow side of the map, and just play around where the enemy is coming from, rotated away from them, obviously, but into gameplay already, and onto the snipe is SLG. Yeah,
straight away diving for it, and now can watch bottom middle. Just trying to assist the teammates there, gets the body shot, and already 3 members of Chiefs have fallen, so ball time will go into the hands of Quadrant, and they've got the goodies. They've got the heat wave, they've got the sniper rifle. This is the perfect start from this French roster. Now with points going on the board, they just need to be careful of the flank, and it's Barcode who gets rewarded, but unfortunately not connecting with the sniper shots, and Fragxr is going to get himself an overshield.
I believe he hit one of those snipe shots. I just can't tell if the overshield was active yet. Unfortunately, misses the next 3 on a player pushing him, and because of it, Barcode loses that snipe. TchiK gets the ball all the way into house window, and right now, this is a nice setup opportunity for Quadrant, but TchiK with early pressure could lose it all.
Good awareness from TchiK to rotate the ball, but did he rotate it maybe the wrong way? Because there were a few players from Chiefs just waiting there in house. A little wiggle is actually countered by Barcode. Manages to get the kill with the battle rifle, and now can look to try and assist teammates elsewhere. The Chiefs starting to put some points on the board. They can go for a little budget setup here in the house area. It's not the ideal setup, but certainly you can make it work.
No, I think this is where we see if Chiefs is going to make this a series or not. This life right here, this setup right here, they do take the lead. How long can they keep it? He's got pressure from the big door, and unfortunately, taken out by that nade. 2 go down for Chiefs, and now Quadrant look to set up of their own.
Yeah, Quadrant pushed through B, and we're able to avoid the likes of Pipz, who has the Mangler. Game from bottom middle, will find one. NURIX is just caught unaware there. Unfortunately, was no shield, but Pipz just needs to avoid these grenades. Look at the pinch from Quadrant, though. Well aware of where Pipz was going to be, and they make sure they shut him down.
That first Mangler shot missed, cost Pipz his life. 3 go down for Chiefs as well, and Quadrant now set up for this next overshield with ball in hand. This is a very dangerous spot for the Chiefs to be in, especially if they go down 1-0 in this game 3.
Very aggressive the way that Quadrant are facing right now, and it's to ensure that SLG can pick up this next overshield, and now he can look to try and take full advantage of it. He's going to be behind one player. Good trigger discipline. Will find the first. Should be an easy cleanup for the second. Would potentially be a triple, but doesn't matter because he's got all the help in the world, and he gets 2 assists in the end. Fragxr dropping the ball and ensuring they get the slays.
You talked about it perfectly. The trigger discipline to not shoot the first player, let the second one meet his maker, and then fire onto the second. It was an easy double kill for Pipz there, getting damage onto a third, and that's created such an opportunity for the rest of his team here.
All this time, even though Quadrant have had control and they've been slaying, they've not got too much ball time to show for it. I think because Fragxr had the heat wave, he was very reluctant to just have that ball in his hands. He kept dropping it, he kept slaying, he kept looking for more, and now because of that, we're going to see Chiefs tie this one up around 36-36. All 2 members float through bottom middle. They will get the trade. SLG has to survive, but at least they've taken down the heat wave.
It would have been something special for Pipz to land both those kills. Unfortunately, SLG gets away with his life, and now SLG, we've seen what he can do when he stays alive. He gets another kill, and that could be the opening they need, but no, a fight. One for the Chiefs is a big one over in the big door, and now they keep control of the ball in-house. You see Snipes also picked up by Quadrant, but they're forced to fall back and wait for respawns.
Fairly even across the board when it comes to slays. Madsy has the least, but he's been holding on to the ball, so you can understand it, you can forgive it. As for Quadrant, they definitely have not been as effective with this ball, and I like the rotation there from Madsy, recognizing the push was coming through, playing that ball, but TchiK is going to be in a position to just steal this one away and get a little bit of a scavenging time.
You at least bought yourself a few crucial seconds to get off respawn where they aren't scoring points. Unfortunately, just a 5-point game right here as we look at Quadrant to take the lead as they cross the 50-point mark.
Quadrant doing better now to pick up this time. TchiK maybe recognizing they weren't prioritizing the objective enough. Madsy pushes in, gets the reversal, and now looks for more, but has to use whatever cover he can. And unfortunately, a frag grenade is going to be there and available for TchiK. Again, moving that ball away from the spawners and towards his own teammate's spawn is great awareness, but unfortunately just can't get that ball over the hump, but will go back for seconds.
I love the rotation by TchiK, but is he going to expect this player to be back tower? It doesn't matter if he expects it because he got an overshield player with snipe and knockback in front of him. It's NURIX. This player really impressed me as well in the online qualifiers. Let's see what NURIX is capable of now that he's in a perfect situation to go off.
I think time and time again, NURIX has stepped up for this roster throughout online and has been doing it in this tournament here in Raleigh, but on this occasion can't do anything with a sniper rifle. But all the meanwhile, there was time being picked up for Quadrant. Chiefs now down by around 30 points with 2:20 on the clock. They've got a couple of frags though, so maybe they'll look to try and pick up some time here, which they will. But at least Quadrant have started to recognize they have to make the most of their objective time here.
You don't want to trade after the body shot, but the trade comes through. 2 go down, make it 3 for Chiefs, and TchiK now being taken down as well. The ball down at Pillars is not exactly where either team wants to see it being down, but it does look like Quadrant's going to have the slays to potentially get that ball to the back tower area and rack up some initial points.
They will rack up some points, and SLG was in a position to really be a nuisance, but some fantastic grenades from the Chiefs will take him out. A play ball now from NURIX, just recognizing there are going to be plenty of blue players pushing from left and right. If they can kill Pipz, then maybe they could push out, but Pipz demonstrating why you shouldn't challenge him because he has been a very dominant force no matter what weapon's been in his hand.
Good teamwork there, but unfortunately there's just an extra player from Quadrant here to take down Madsy. And yes, there's the reinforcements Chiefs have been waiting for. Unfortunately, it's bought enough time for more Chiefs to show up, and now it's just who's got the numbers advantage as NURIX starts to run away with the ball. Heat wave in hand, he's dropping it for his teammate, and now Quadrant are just one setup away from taking round 1.
There's 2 ways that Quadrant can play this now. With only 1:28 left on the clock, they can slay out a little bit, they can play time to their advantage, but NURIX getting pushed from both directions, unfortunately, cannot stay alive, and now the Chiefs are looking to move this one towards green. Pratt, very much on those shields, does have to be careful, going to prepare to play ball it just in case the grenades come in, but no one from Quadrant in an area to stop him right now, and this is easy and free time for Chiefs to get slowly and surely back into this game, but now he's not in a position to play it anymore.
No, massive mistake there by Pratt. Tried to stay alive a little bit longer, tried to avoid where the players were coming from elbow, but he didn't expect that big door push. Another opportunity to try and play it, but Pipz can't quite make it to the ball. And now, with 14 points remaining, Quadrant look to close the door on round 1.
Maybe just a little bit greedy with the ball time there. NURIX, however, recognizing that he can put it across. Does take a bullet to the head, but it's Pratt on the other side with the sniper rifle. But really, we need to see Chiefs push this ball soon, get control of it. They have managed to move it, and it's going to be now Quadrant instead picking it up. And Quadrant is just making life really difficult for Chiefs right now as NURIX gets a sniper as a reward.
Just really unfortunate timing from Praties. He read the play perfectly. He knew players were going to be coming from Bruce, but unfortunately, he just went a little bit too fast. And right now, 99 points scoring. Fragxr picks it up, ends the first round for his team. Quadrant's going to take this series to the brink of elimination now for the Chiefs, going up 1-0 in Oddball. All they need is 100 points, and they will close the door on winners round 2.
Well, I didn't want to bring it up earlier because I wanted the ANZ community to have some hope for the Chiefs here, but they have yet to win this game type on LAN. They've played it twice, they've lost it both times, and it looks like maybe history could repeat itself if they do not change things up quickly, because Quadrant taking that first round find themselves 1 round away from winning this series. In the early stages though, Madsy's got hold of a heat wave here, and it's having a little merry dance down bottom middle, but grenades eventually will eliminate him off the server temporarily, and now Quadrant will look to try and take advantage and maybe get this overshield.
A great nade comes through though, and it takes him down. Numbers advantage for Quadrant as Overshield is still down on the ground. You see in this highly contested battle for it, Madsy trying to do everything he can to get Fragxr off this Overshield. Unfortunately, it's not Fragxr that's getting the Overshield. It's SLG with the heat wave.
SLG just pops in and says, thank you very much, I'll grab that one from you. And now he's going to be a very powerful force on this map. And again, Quadrant have managed to sneak this ball out of bottom middle and send it towards the garage area. But there's 2 players that have gone down from Quadrant. Fragxr's got a lot to do now. The last remaining player to try and stay alive. But with the kills coming through, Chiefs can get some time. But every single time Chiefs think they're safe, Quadrant comes swooping back in to get frags of their own.
What a grenade to take down Madsy there from that Quadrant member. SLG with the ball in hand now, pushing this score lead over 20 points early in this round 2. You see, he doesn't really know which way to rotate it at this time. He just has to wait for information, and then you'll see how Quadrant wants to go. Do they want to go towards the silo? Do they want to go towards the window? That information is going to be crucial, and you see Quadrant already starting to get that information.
Heatwave and Sniper for NURIX. He's a greedy boy. He tries to put it to his advantage, but it's Pipz who comes in from the other side to eliminate him. TchiK's there to get the cleanup, though, and now Quadrant can still put time. It just seems like this is a bit of a scrappy one, and it has favored Quadrant. They kind of like the fast-paced, constantly pushing off spawn. Doesn't matter if you're a team, doesn't matter if you're a 1, if you're a 2. Because they know they've been winning those individual fights, they are more than happy to play that way. Overshield is going to be popping, and that means there is a real chance for one of these teams to take advantage of that one.
Pipz just 2 seconds late to the Overshield, but unfortunately for him, he almost gets a back smack him. Because he shoots, he gives away his location. SLG has the awareness to turn around with that Overshield and then reversal him. And in that situation, if you could take it back, you would never shoot in that situation. But I mean, you're in real time. The game's playing so fast. You're on the brink of elimination from winner's bracket, and you're going to be kicking yourself when you watch the rebroadcast there. But still, time racking up for Quadrant. The Chiefs still have hope, but I really want to see them focus out on Slaying because this scrappiness, it's not favoring them at all.
It isn't, and Chiefs haven't been able to get set up, and Quadrant have just adjusted to this playstyle and how this game has been running. Fragxr will go down though. Madsy getting one elsewhere. NURIX though with a big double to answer, and it just seems like every time Chiefs think they're going to get back into the game, one member of Quadrant is there to make their life a living hell. Pipz trying to play a sneaky angle with the Mangler down bottom middle, but with 3 minutes remaining, Chiefs do need to start thinking about ball time soon.
It's that one Mangler shot again that comes back to bite the Chiefs right there. They would have been able to have a little bit of space towards house, but unfortunately they do lose a player, make it 2, but Barcode with the ball gets out of there. Does drop it. He has heat wave in hand. Let's see if he's able to pick up a few kills, because if he is, we could see the Chiefs rack up some time.
Drop it, pop it, lock it, but Barcode has to stay alive and cannot. 3 down for Chiefs. One's just come up. And now Quadrant with the sniper rifle in hand. SLG can do some damage, does need to stay alive, doesn't want to be too overzealous here and be too greedy for kills. Just needs to wait for that shield to recharge, SLG. We know you're good with a sniper, just wait, your moment will come.
Challenging the world is what SLG is apparently known for, and right now challenging the ANZ region with everything he's got. The no-scopes don't come through, but the melee does. The trade for Praties is a good one as he loses 3 members of his team. Quadrant just baiting the ball at this point. You're up with such a significant lead here in round 2 to close this series out. No reason to just go for the ball desperately. I love this play from TchiK. He's going to bait it knowing that the Chiefs are going to be pressed with this clock.
Even though you can afford to be patient, you've got to play this perfectly if your TchiK does get one. Can he get a second? The reload will give him the chance, and the teammate comes in just in the nick of time. And somehow, some way, TchiK does stay alive. His patience is rewarded, but Chiefs have still been able to get this ball over towards Garage, but Fragxr is there to stop them in their tracks. And if he gets this kill, we can see more time going in favor of Quadrant.
A good kill from Madsy there is going to maybe create an opportunity, but he's getting pressed hard from TchiK. Still, TchiK's going to be able to capitalize on that damage. The ball is in a phenomenal place for him to go back and get it. With 2 members of the Chiefs dead, 68 points and counting, it's going to be maybe 2 lives that the Chiefs have left in this series to break this setup.
And they're constantly on a spawn cycle. You can see only 2 members of Chiefs up right now, make it 3. Now Barcode's up. All 4 members are there. You've got to push together, but the first frag going in favor of Quadrant. SLG taking down Pipz means it's a 3 versus 4 push, but with NURIX going down, maybe in a 3 versus 3, Chiefs can get back into this one because it's one last push they've got to take this ball away from them.
Potential overextension there from Quadrant. You saw all of their players away from the ball carrier. Because of it, the Chiefs were able to get into house, able to get that kill. Pipz in a very important situation right now, is surrounded by multiple members of Quadrant. Doesn't choose the Heatwave player. He wants the one-on-one with the BR, but unfortunately it's not a one-on-one. The rest of Quadrant show up. They get ball in hand, 8 points remaining.
Chiefs now desperately trying to hunt in because there's only 3 seconds on the clock for Quadrant to take this series. NURIX will have a dance around and he can have a little celebration ball smack because Quadrant are 3-0 in the series. They'll move on into winners bracket round 3. EU get their revenge over ANZ and we'll see the Chiefs move down to the elimination bracket.
Don't adjust your televisions. We saw an Optic win, and now Quadrant with the same green, it seems, get a W as well.